Hey guys, it's Doctor McFarland, and it is on a Wednesday night, June 4th, 2025. And yes, I am slightly behind. I did the April live stream at the end of May. Now I'm doing the May live stream at the beginning of June, just so I catch up. So I'm going to blame it all on basketball and just me being lazy. But I do want to make sure I stay on top of the monthly and weekly live streams, more really weekly live streams. And this is going to just be another fun one where we dive into the world of delays and understand what a quarter note delay is, what a dotted eighth delay is, and when you combine those two together, what kind of effects and what kind of sound does that make. And then you can think about all the different bands that use delays in their music, whether you're thinking of The Edge from U2, or maybe you're a worship guitar player at church and all the, different songs that use delays on in combination with the reverbs and whatever else. So, shoegaze, I don't know how you say it. What else is there? Actually, there's a really cool song called Sweet Disposition. I think it came from the 90s. And that has a really good dotted eighth kind of sound to it. So we'll be learning more about those. And then I'm going to be on vacation for the next few days. So when I get back, I will start the tonal analysis course that will be available only on my website. It will not be streamed or viewable to the public, because I will be playing songs on the stream, and I don't want the videos to be taken down or copyright striked or all the different stuff. So I'm going to use it as fair use, as a teaching tool, but to do that, I will be doing it just off, not on the main YouTube channel. And more than likely, I will pre-record it, then just load it up to the website, and just do it that way. So stay tuned for that. I have already had multiple requests coming in on the chat feature on my website, drmcfarlandstudios.com. So if you want to go there and send me a private message saying, hey, it'd be great if you could go over this kind of song, or I want to know how to get the sound of this band, or whatever, then I will gather all that information. I'll be listening to the bands/songs that you want me to listen to, and I will learn them. I will dissect them like a doctor, because I'm the doctor of rock, or doctor of audio, whichever you want to think of it as. And then, I'll teach you what I know and how to dial that in, not only on the Headrush, but on all other guitar gear setups, whether that's modeling units, physical pedals, physical amps, virtual stuff, whatever you want, because it all literally applies to everything else. Okay, so I have to tune my guitar. Let me go down to my scene here. Is it this one? Yeah, it is. So I'm going to hold down this switch, and it's going to bring me into my tuner. I am playing the Yamaha Revstar humbucker version. And I've had this for about a week, maybe a week and a half. And it is honestly great. It is really, really good. And what I love about it, and I tried to do some research today on guitars out on the market that have stainless steel frets that are under $1,000. And there may be others out there, I know there's definitely some Amazon guitars that come with stainless steel frets, and I just have not tried them at all. But if you want to invest in a guitar that is, this is made in Indonesia. Yeah, definitely made in Indonesia. But this is stainless steel frets, medium jumbo frets, skinny inlays on the fretboard, rosewood fretboard, chambered body that adds resonance and whatever else. A very cool, iconic look. A very nice sculpted neck heel. There's like no neck heel at all, really. So you can just get right in there. It just fits perfectly in your hand. A very nice looking headstock with, they look like Kluson tuners, but they're not. They're actually way better than Kluson tuners. Because they have a closed back tuning system, and they're just super smooth. So anyway, you get this guitar and a 5-way switch with a focus option on the tone knob here. All this for $849 at Zounds.com. So I will have links, affiliate links in my description of this video and all videos if you want to check out this guitar or Reverend guitars or any other guitar that's around that $800 to $1,000 range. If you don't want to buy a Fender, you don't want to buy a Gibson, but you're looking for quality guitars that will last a lifetime, then definitely look at Reverend and my newly acquired Yamaha Revstar. These things are great. Okay, so with all that said, let's see what we got here. I want to make sure I am... There we go. Make sure my gain is somewhat equal. So I'm looking at the meters here on the live stream, and I'm just making sure that the levels are about the same. What's up, Dwight? Is in the house. Dwight Bailey. Hello, sir. So this is a rig that I made for the April live stream, which is based on the Full Tone OCD. So just a quick review. We have our clean sound. Okay, hit the same switch, and now we turn on the Anxiety Overdrive version 2 at a low gain setting. Okay, hit switch number 2. That goes into the medium block preset for the same pedal. Okay, and then we go into the, oh, I see, the lead sound. Yeah, that is super cool. So, love that sound. You can stay on clean all night long if you're playing jazz or country. Right? Or if you're doing some more modern rock type stuff, you got your crunch and your lead all on the same switch. Then this one actually kicks in a tube screamer. Okay, so that actually has a delay on it as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to set list. We're going to make a new set list. And we're just going to add in maybe an empty one. See if we can actually do that. Save new set list. This is going to be, let's see what I'm going to name it. HTS May 25. Okay. Did it work? Maybe I need to add one more just in case. Okay, let's go back and then we go find our HTS. Alphabetical order. May 25. Okay. And now from here, I can probably just pull down and delete this rig. Okay. Go back up. Let's see. I'm going to make a new rig just real fast. Okay. So from here, what we're going to do, we're going to mainly deal with a clean tone right now, and then we'll start adding the delays and reverbs and stuff, and then be teaching from there. All right, so let's go pick an amp. I actually like I like the Tangerine stuff. This is kind of fun. So we're going to pick the Tangerine. We're going to pick the 2x12 B30 cab. We're going to put a Ribbon 121 on there. And we're going to call this, what are we going to call it? HTS M25 delay. Okay. Now let's actually go add a delay. So under the reverb delay section, which is slightly different with the prime, the flex prime and the core, but it's still very similar. So what we have is a tape echo, a BBD delay, an air delay, a dyne delay, a reverse delay, a pitch delay, and a reso delay. Okay. We're going to deal with right now, let's just go with a bucket brigade delay. And that's going to be very much like your Memory Man type delay sound. It's also going to be like the MXR. What is that green pedal? The MXR Memory something. There's also the Brigadier, I think from Strymon, is a bucket brigade delay type thing. So we got that cat. And we're just going to choose a default for now. Okay, so if we double tap, this is going to show us our parameters on the screen. Okay. Now I can zoom in just a little bit more. And now it's kind of off center. Let's move this around, so you can kind of see the screen a little bit better. Okay. Now by default, I'm pretty sure that it gives you milliseconds. Okay. So what is a millisecond? It's just a measurement of time that says, even when you clap your hands, like the ring that the room generates that you're in currently, whether that it could be a small room, it could be a big room, it's giving a certain kind of slapback or kind of sound to the overall sense of space in the room. Okay. So, and how your ears perceive that space is how long it takes for the initial clap of your hand to then start bouncing around off the walls and the ceiling and the floor, and then hitting back your ears. And your ears are perceiving that as a certain distance or a certain size or shape. Because like a square shape will have a different reverb or delay, especially reverb, than an oval kind of, dome type shape. Okay, because the way the reflections work off of a hard square surface versus a domed surface, if that makes any sense. Okay, and that's really just for reverb itself. Now, but for delays, we are measuring delays in milliseconds, and even when you start getting into subdivisions like quarter notes, eighth notes, dotted eighths, sixteenths, triplets, eighth note triplets, quarter note triplets, half note triplets, just all the different kind of subdivisions we can come up with. That's still just a measurement of milliseconds of time. Okay. So what we can actually do is make the delay the lowest it can go, which is 32 milliseconds. So this is the sound of what we have. I'm going to bring the mix up pretty high so you can hear what this sounds like. Okay, I'm also going to make the feedback 0, so it's just going to give me one repeat. So as soon as I hit the note, it's giving me 32 milliseconds of, we call it slapback. It's a very common term for this very, very short type of delay sound. Now, if I blend this more blend it back in to about 25% or so. This is what we have. Okay, and now at this size and also this speed of delay, if you want to call it that, it sounds like a very, very small room that we're in, because we're essentially saying, whatever that sound is of clapping in our ears, perceiving the sound bouncing around the room and then coming back to our ear. That's a very short sound in this size room here, which is about 14 by 24. Okay. I'm gonna grab my drink real fast. I already did one live stream today on the Harrison channel, and that's like a good hour of talking right there. So just getting some drinks in there. All right, it's just water with a flavor in it, so don't worry, I'm not drunk, guys. Don't worry. Contrary to popular opinion. All right, so now keeping it at the shortest delay, I'm going to raise the feedback up pretty high. Okay, you hear that? What I'm doing is the feedback is getting so high that it starts oscillating on itself. Okay, now check this out. If I change the delay type, okay, you're like, whoa, what's going on here? All right, so that's what self-oscillation is doing when you have so many repeats, just like compounding on itself. It starts oscillating the chip, and you can do that with digital for sure, but it's mainly done with like analog pedals. It just sounds really cool. So what you can do, since the Prime and the Flex Prime both have expression pedals built into the unit, you can assign probably either the feedback or the delay time to an expression pedal. So as you toggle that back and forth, you could do that all with your foot instead of having to bend over, like turn a knob and whatever you would on an analog pedal. Very much like if you were to take this pedal here and be like, okay, this is the feedback. So you can just crank it up all the way. Then you start messing with like the delay time or something, right? So that's how that works. Now, just for normal play, like a typical slapback for like a country tune or something might be somewhere in the range of, either 80 to 100 milliseconds, or it could even be like 150, just anywhere in there. So okay, so we can actually lower the mix down a little bit and see what we got here. Okay. Something like that. So let's just go in and we're going to hit save. Save new preset. We're going to call this BBD slap. Okay. And you may already have a preset named something like this. If you go look in the preset area here. So we do have a double. We have an echo long, echo light, echo long, mod chorus, mod vibrato, regeneration, regeneration sync, and slapback. So we already have a slapback option. Let's just go see what that is. So they're putting it at 160 milliseconds. Like a double sound is about 50 milliseconds. So now you can use this as an advantage when recording. If you want to record a dry guitar and then pan it like hard left, okay? And then you add, like maybe you double that track with the same region, same recorded part. And then you add a 50 millisecond delay plug-in to that second track and then pan it hard right. You're essentially doing the same thing as we're doing here. We're just choosing to add the plug-in or the delay plug-in later in post-production. But we're essentially doubling the part by recording it once, making it, doubling that track or duplicating the track, copying over the same region on both tracks, and then adding 50 millisecond delay, to the second track, and then you got this kind of wider sounding double take kind of sound. So it's kind of what the Deco from Strymon is doing in a very expensive and fancy way. You're essentially just doing very short delay type stuff. So Kills World is watching. What's up, man? Glad to have you here. Let me know if you have any questions, okay? Okay, so we have different presets we can work with. Let's see what other presets we already have. There's an echo light. Okay, so that's going to start us off around 250 milliseconds. We're going to have a slightly longer feedback of 10%. The mix is down 25%, and so on. So let's see what these sound like here. Okay, so it's just one repeat. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if 10% is one repeat, I'm thinking that 20% is going to be two repeats. Okay, that's still just one. Let's see what 30% does. Okay, that's still one. Let's see what 40% does. Wow. Okay, let's see what 50% does. There we go. We're getting a little bit longer now. Let's go back to 40. So really 10% to 40% or even up to 50 is still just giving you that one. There we go. Kind of like the 45% area. Now we're getting slightly more repeats, but they're also degrading every time they have a new regeneration. And regeneration just means after every repeat. You got the first repeat, then it's regenerating again, making a second repeat, third repeat, fourth repeat. But each repeat is lower in volume the more repeats you have. So the first repeat is louder, then the more repeats is going to just keep going down in volume until you don't hear it anymore. Okay? So an example of that would be going up to like 60% and then going. Okay, and also the characteristic of the Bucket Brigade chip says that the first repeat is going to be the brightest, then every repeat is also going to lower in volume and is going to darken the tone. Okay, think of it like a tape machine. Every time you record over the same part of the tape, the magnetization of all the electrons and whatever else is going on the tape to make it record onto to the tape, is you are essentially degrading the tape every single time, just by a little bit. So each time you do a pass, it may potentially sound not as bright, or as, yeah, the tone's not going to be as bright as it could have been if it was like a new piece of tape. Okay. And that's really for like tape echoes and stuff, but it still is the same kind of concept for bucket brigade chips. Okay, it's still very similar. Okay, so with this range right here, from like 250 to like anywhere from like 450, sometimes if I don't want to tap in a tempo, but I just kind of want the delay to be like this kind of generic kind of length, no matter if I'm playing on a slow song or a fast song, just having some kind of generic setting can sometimes work pretty well. Okay, so at 250, this is what we got. Okay, if I play a little bit slower, all right, there you go. So it just kind of generally works overall for the tempo that we're playing at. Now, if I go up to like 450, which is a common range I don't mind playing in. I mean, I think it sounds pretty good. I think this works really good for like rock echo type soloing type stuff. So let me go in and add, let me just go to the amp. I'm going to go to the amp. I'm just going to crank it. Okay, and for some reason, this actually put in a Bogner, which is fine. I put the Bogner in there. Okay, so it's about 400 milliseconds, 450. Okay, so we just have kind of this long, lingering type effect after we play the notes. Okay, I like that. Excuse me. Take another swig here. And I'm out. So, I'll try to last the rest of the stream here. Okay. I don't even know what I'm playing anymore. Let's go back to clean real fast. Let's go to our green channel on the Bogner. Okay. Now, once you get into like playing rhythmic rhythm parts, like if you're going like, I don't even know what I'm playing anymore. Just any kind of rhythm. Sometimes if you have a short delay or a middle of the road, length delay, it may not always fit with the tempo of the song, and it doesn't gel right with the part. So what we can do, we're going to go into hardware assign. I'm going to move this bucket brigade over, and I'm going to replace the cab with a tempo, with a tap tempo more specifically. Okay. So tap tempo is now right here. I can tap that in on number 3. But we're not done yet. I can tap all day, but if the delay is set to milliseconds, then it's not going to follow what I tap. So what we do have to do next is go down to the sync option here and make sure that is on. Okay. Now you see that the milliseconds changed to a subdivision. Okay. Think of it like measuring an inch or a foot or measuring any distance. You're subdividing that distance by, either an inch, half an inch, a quarter of an inch, an eighth of an inch, a 16th of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 5/16, 7/8, just whatever, right? So if you've been in construction long enough, hopefully you understand that analogy of measuring distance. And this is very, very similar of measuring time in subdivisions. Okay, you can also have 1 hour, half an hour, quarter of an hour, an eighth of an hour. In musical time, you can have, really more importantly in musical time, you have a whole note, then you have a half note, then you have a quarter note, you have an eighth note, a 16th note, then a dotted eighth, a dotted 16th, you have a triplet. Just different ways of measuring musical time, and this is what we're doing here. Just think of it like, if you can subdivide an inch, is very, very similar to subdividing a musical measure or a bar. Okay, so we're doing a full bar, half a bar, a beat, which is 4/4 time, which would equal 4 beats a measure. So the quarter note equals the 1 beat. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is bring up the, I just messed it up. Go back to quarter note here. I'm going to bring up my mix so you can kind of hear what we're dealing with here. Okay, that's actually not that great. Let's bring down the mix. Okay, so tapping this in, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, makes sense. So for my tempo, let's just see what we're doing here. I'm gonna go to a metronome app. All right, let's see what 120 sounds like. Okay, here's 120. So tap it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, pretty good, right? Now, if I change this to an eighth note, it's not going to be double the time of 120. It's at 240, so it's going to sound like this. I'm going to bring up the volume of the unit here. Okay, makes sense. I'm going to stop that for a second so we don't drive us crazy. Luis, what's up, man? From the Dominican Republic. Thank you very much. All right, so that is quarter notes and that is eighth notes. Let's go the opposite direction. Let's go a little bit slower. Let's do a half note. Okay, so same tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Watch this. Okay, so we're doing half notes now. So 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 1. Okay, so that's what a half note is. We got 2 beats. We're actually hearing this. Yeah, we're right. Okay. So what we're going to do now, let's go to, we're actually at 120, which is technically eighth notes at 60 beats per minute. But anyway, we're still getting a good idea here. So If we go to 3/16, okay, let's actually go the opposite way. Let's go a full 16th. Okay, check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's really, really fast. What are you into? 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 2 into 3 into 4 into 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 1. Okay, we are taking 4 16th notes, which equals 1 quarter note. Okay, now with a dotted eighth, which is what everybody loves if you're listening to church music or U2 or Sweet Disposition by whoever, right? It's the same kind of gallopy kind of sound. So what we're doing is taking 4 16ths and we're dropping one of them. That makes it 3. Okay, and now we have 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and it keeps the groups of 3 is now playing against a group of 4. Okay, so instead of going 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a like nice and equal, we're going 1 E and a 2 E and yeah. So the is now getting the next 3, groups of 3. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4, right? So it's I could draw it out easier probably than saying it because I'm just making myself confused. But anyway, you get the point, right? So now we're going to do a dotted eighth, which is 3 16ths. Okay. Now some digital modelers actually show you an eighth note with a dot next to it. Okay. But if you're a Headrush guy, or I can't think of any other, I'm sure there's other modelers that do this, but Headrush does not give you a symbol because they don't give you symbols here. They literally give you subdivisions. So 1/4 is a quarter. 1/8 is an eighth. 3/16 is 3 16ths, i.e. a dotted eighth. Okay, what the dot means in musical theory, excuse me, a dotted eighth, the dot means you're taking the original duration of the note, which could be a quarter, an eighth, half, or whatever, right? And then you're adding half of the original duration back onto the note. So if it's a quarter note, which equals 1 beat, then you add a dot to it, that dot is now adding 1/8 to the quarter, which makes it a beat and a half. Okay, so it's a dotted quarter note, which in music would look like a quarter note with a dot. And then since you're kind of stealing the first eighth note of the next beat to add to the previous beat, now you have 1/8 note left over, which looks like da 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 da. Okay, so it's that long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. Or if you're doing a dotted half note in a 4/4 measure, you would have 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1, because you got 2 beats. You add the dot, which adds half of the original duration, which is 1 beat. So that equals 3 beats. And now you have 1 quarter note left over in the measure in a 4/4 time measure. So 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1. Okay. So a dotted eighth would be da 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 da. 1 and da 2 and da 3 and da 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 da. Okay. So let's try this out. We're going to tap in our tempo. 1 2 3 4. And now it really comes down to the way you play the strings. You can pluck them in quarter notes, and it would sound like this. If I turn my volume up. Okay, so let me tap in my tempo again. So 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, let me turn that back off. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so I'm plucking quarters. But you hear the kind of gallopy kind of sound because the repeat is falling on the next repeat is falling in between like where a downbeat would be. So it's falling on the upbeat, but it's only like falling on the upbeat every other time. So now if I pluck eighth notes where I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, so that's where you get the gallopy sound from all the U2, the Edge, Sweet Disposition, the song, all the stuff. So now if we kind of go like 1, 2, 3, 4, I've tapped in a quicker tempo. So now we got like. Is very, very, very important that if you're playing in a band and you're playing to that gallopy kind of 3/16 kind of sound, you can't speed up or you can't slow down. You got to stay nice and consistent. Otherwise, if the drummer starts speeding up, you're going to have to go to your delay pedal, tap in and do tempo just to get that kind of. Okay, let me turn the metronome back on. Let's see what the let me tap in the metronome. Okay, I think Where the Streets Have No Name is about 120 beats per minute or so, somewhere in there. So let me play this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay. Also, another song, if you're thinking of like a Pink Floyd type thing, you got this kind of thing. So you got I wasn't even playing the song right. I was thinking like another Brick in the Wall, you know, that kind of intro thing. And okay, anyway, I'm going to save this as another preset. We're going to call this dot .8. Okay. And now what we're going to do, we're going to add another delay in front of this. And let's do a tape echo. We'll do an analog. We'll do a default sync. And we'll keep it a quarter note. Okay. The feedback is fine. The mix is fine. So now what's going to happen is, especially if you have, well, there's actually other ways of doing this too, but the quarter note delay is now going to feed serially. It's going to be a serial, like a series. I think serial, like right in a row. Parallel delays or any other effect is effect that plays simultaneously, but they're in parallel. Okay, they're going. Wow, I can't move my hands tonight. They're moving in a parallel fashion, next to each other, adjacent to each other, but they're not affecting each other directly. Okay, but a series of pedals or serial signal chain, just like any guitar rig is normally, is you typically have a guitar goes into the first pedal, that first pedal goes into the second pedal, the second pedal goes into the third goes into the fourth goes into the fifth goes into the sixth, and so on down the chain. And whatever you do on one is going to affect what happens to like 8 or 7. Or if you have 5 turned on, it's going to now affect anything after that chain. Okay, so this is what we're doing here, is we're having a quarter note delay going into a dotted eighth delay. And I'm not going to do the math for you, but the quarter notes are going to affect how the dotted eighths react and sound to each other. Okay, so Dwight agrees. He goes, sounds good. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what we got here. We're going to metronome again. Maybe I'll turn it down just a little bit. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me tap it in again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I can tempo now. Let me bring down the mix of this a little bit, because the mix is going to affect what happens later for sure. And I'll also turn down the feedback a little bit. So a quarter going into a dotted eight. So here we go. Turn up my volume a little bit. I am going to bring the mix back up on my tape echo. Okay, so you can kind of hear what's happening there. We'll bring the feedback up. Okay. We do have a tape going into a bucket brigade, and both of these do have a good amount of degradation going on with repeats. So it's not going to sound all clean and pretty like a digital delay would. Okay, bring up the mix of that one. I'm going to turn my mic off for a second just so you can hear the sound without my guitar. So that's how that works. And you got to make sure you stay right in tempo. Otherwise, they're not going to sync up right, and you're going to sound like an idiot. Doctor McFarland says you're going to sound like an idiot on stage. Like, yes, you will. It's like, wow, that guy does not know how to use delays. Woo, boy. So that's actually using two different delays. Let's use one. Wow, I can't talk. What was in that water earlier? Wow, I don't even know. Okay, we're going to do a dyne delay. What's cool about the dyne delay is it gives you a certain parameter that starts automatically giving you that kind of gallopy, kind of ping pong type sound. Okay, so check this out. We're going to do a dyne stereo. Okay, so the delay is going to be set to quarter notes, but the ratio, there's a weird ratio parameter that's been on the Headrush for years. And what it's actually doing is, if I set this to 0, it's going to stay at a quarter note. Okay, so here we go. We got this. Ba, bo, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, it's just nice and steady and even. Okay, now if I make it 50%, it's now going to give you that kind of dotted eighth kind of sound. So check this out. And you can also hear it being panned, hard left and right in your ears. So okay, I hear it in my ears. I hope you hear it in yours. It sounds pretty good. Let's go to the opposite end. Let's go negative 50. Because we got a plus, we can go higher. We can go, plus 100, or we can go negative 100. And that's going to give us a different sound. So. Okay, but hear how everything's kind of rushing in right there. So what's happening is the envelope, this has an additional envelope filter, not envelope, envelope. You can say envelope if you want. Envelope filter that says the louder you play, the less of the delays you're going to hear. So. Okay, and then when I stop, the envelope opens back up and you hear all the delays coming into the signal. So if you make this at 100%, then you're just going to hear the delays equally. Let me bring this down here. Okay, you're going to hear it like this. Okay, and Jake says, I could listen to someone mess around with pedals all day. Well, that's right. You come to the right place. Be sure to subscribe down below and click the bell for future notifications. Anyway, so an envelope, even on the Kemper units, they have a ducking feature. It's very, very similar to the envelope here on the Headrush. So not everything on the Headrush has a ducking option, but most things actually on the Kemper do have ducking. Like the tremolo has ducking, delays, reverbs. It's actually very, very useful. So not saying you should go out and buy a Kemper, but they are really, really good. Okay, they're really, really good for the money. All right, so let's go plus 50% on the envelope mix. And now I think if I play nice and light, right, playing nice and light here. Okay, so as I got louder, the delay effect actually grew in volume, in intensity, okay? Which is kind of neat. So if you want to play nice and soft, okay, let's bring it all the way to 100% and see what happens. Okay, so playing nice and light now gives me no effect because I have the envelope all the way up. Okay, and then playing nice and loud brings in the full effect. So let's do the opposite way now. We're going to play with a negative 100%. We're going to get nice and loud and hear no delay at all. Okay, and as soon as I stop my sound, the whole gamut of delay volume comes rushing in. So okay, so there, hopefully that explains what the ratio does and what the envelope mix does, okay? Now, on top of that, we have the envelope feedback, which is actually how many repeats you're getting when either you're playing soft or loud. And then we have the envelope rate, which is giving you like this warble type sound to it. So let's bring in, let's go back to like 100% here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we should have a nice rate going on there. We do have a low cut and we have a high cut. So if we want to make the digital dyne delay sound warmer, you know, less high end, we can just bring down the high cut here, maybe down to like 3K or so. Okay, so I'm going to kind of split the middle here. And let's say I'm going to bring the envelope mix down to negative 50-ish. Okay, so the rate's going to be at negative 50, or the ratio and the envelope is both going to be at 50. And what that's going to do is when I play, if I play a little bit harder, I'm not going to hear as much delay, but once I start lightening up, it's going to come back in. So. Okay, and this can be really cool for, let's go back to our blue channel here. Now, I kind of wish, this is what's cool about the different modelers, okay? The fractal units actually allow you to have, well, I don't know what they call it, but when you play like lower pitches, you can make the effects basically have a different envelope than if you play like a higher pitch. Okay, so like on your rhythm, you could be like, and you want to hear any delay. Then when you go to the higher notes, then all your delays would come out. So this is really cool. It's actually called a pitch follower is what it's called. So if you're really big into those fine details of dialing in your sounds, then definitely consider getting a fractal unit of some sort. Probably the FM9. FM9 would be, about brand new would be about $1,800. You can probably find them used for around 14-ish, 14, 15 on Marketplace or on Reverb. But with Reverb, you got to pay additional tax and shipping most of the time. So yeah, if you can find it used on Marketplace, and that's a good deal. But yeah, the Fractal has the pitch follower kind of option. So play low notes, you don't hear the effect. Play high notes, you hear the effect, which is really, really neat. Headrush doesn't have that. At a sub $1,000 unit, you're just not going to find those kind of features. Maybe on like the Ampero or some other lesser, expensive unit, you can kind of find those. But usually only Fractal has those kind of things. So. Is that a Revstar? Yes, it is. So, Jake, let me tell you, man. I have recently found, I've known about the Revstars for years. I've just never tried them. This thing is $849 at Zounds.com. You can also get them at Sweetwater as well. But I prefer, if you're going to buy it, then click through my Zounds link down in the description, which I will shortly have after this live stream is over. But they have stainless steel frets, so you'll never wear out the frets or worry about fret dressing, fret replacement ever in the future. So you're already saving yourself hundreds of dollars there by getting stainless steel frets. The neck is gorgeous. It has a very nice satin neck to it. Very, very smooth, but the body is glossy. So you get the nice gloss finish there. The humbuckers sound great. You got a 5-way switch. You got the classic looking Yamaha headstock. And then the Kluson looking tuners, but they're actually closed back tuners, and they're very, very nice to turn, and they stay in tune really well. And also have a rosewood fretboard. So for $849, I don't think you can get a better guitar for that price range with all the specs and options that it has on it. So. Okay, I'm actually going to go in. Let's make this envelope. Let's make it 75. Let's bring it back down. Let's make it 65. It's actually pretty good when you play the lower notes. It doesn't reach that threshold of where the delays want to start coming in, but when you play the higher notes, which is naturally not as loud as like lower chunky type stuff, the delays actually come through really nicely. So that's cool. Cool. Let's make sure the see what the feedback does. Cool. Yeah, so even though Headrush doesn't have a pitch follower, just by the dynamics of your natural playing, you can make it to where you have zero delay, and then when you play higher notes, all the delay comes in. So it works. Alright, so I'm going to leave that just like that right there. So we're going to keep the mix at 50%, the ratio at -50. Let's just see real fast what happens if it's plus 50%. Let's go the opposite direction here, because I really don't know what else it would really be doing. I don't know. I don't know what plus 50 or -50 is really doing. But it's neat either way. I mean, it's fine. So, if you want a little more delay on the low chunks, I guess like put it around the 55%. All right, I like that. Let's save that as a preset. We're gonna call that. We're gonna call it Doc. Doc, come on now. Doc. Dine. I can't type on the small screen. Doc Dine. FLR for follower, because it kind of follows the dynamics of your playing. Okay, so what you're going to get when you download this rig is the Dine delay with my preset. You can also turn that off and get a quarter note delay and a dotted eighth delay back to back, which is that kind of thing. But it is in serial, and you don't get that stereo-ness out of it like you would normally. And then I am going to add in a reverb here. So the 11th verb has a nice extra long verb sound to it, which sounds like this. Wow, that is not extra long. What happened here? Let's do that. There we go. Okay. So the tail of this reverb has a nice little like warble to it, so it sounds nice. Oh, let's see. All right, so now when I bring in this delay again, I have a reverb that is adding additional like ambient gooiness to it. So. All right, so regardless of what you're playing, you can either choose a spring reverb, you can choose a long reverb, you can make a short reverb, you can have it be a hall or a plate or a room or a church or a cathedral or whatever else, right? All kinds of cool reverbs in there in the Headrush. Just if you're a country guy, you're probably going to deal with more of the slapback side of things. If you're going to be a more of like a rock kind of thing, like the dotted eighth sound would sound really cool. And then just kind of experiment and see what you like the best. Okay, so you're gonna get this one rig here. It's gonna have a few different delay types, and then and actually on the bucket brigade delay, you already have some good presets for starting points, which gives you the slapback, the echo light, the echo long, and so forth. You just kind of go in and adjust the mix level to your taste, and you can get pretty far doing that. So any other questions while you have me here online? Because it's about 10:50 Central Time, and I'm gonna go to bed, and then I'm gonna wake up in the morning and I'm gonna make some more videos, because I have tomorrow off before I leave on vacation, and I'm gonna try and get some more videos done. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna play us out, and then you guys have a great rest of your night.